In this series, I've laid out why real estate investors can no longer rely on the old playbook. Bitcoin is absorbing the monetary premium, treasury management and dual collateral loan structures are redefining capital strategy, and the hurdle rates have shifted permanently. Today, we move on to the next pillar in the framework, and that is energy consumption and efficiency. About a third of operating expenses come from energy consumption. So reducing this expense is critical to your overall profitability. Energy efficient buildings are a triple threat. For one, they're cost effective. You're lowering utility and maintenance expenses right away. Second, as carbon and emission standards continue to go into effect, these upgrades will ensure you remain compliant and help you avoid future cost and penalties. And lastly, they command a premium in the market. They trade better, lease faster, and retain value longer. Additionally, tenants and investors are increasingly demanding these features. There is an upfront capital requirement you have to consider here. But when you start looking into it, there's actually a number of different incentives available to help offset that cost. There are tax credits, special financing programs, and you always have your bonus depreciation and cost segregation you can utilize. Lighting and HVAC account for roughly 70% of that energy usage in a commercial building. So that means that any meaningful and effective strategy is going to target those systems specifically. Let's run through a couple practical but non-negotiables every owner needs to consider. You have window tints and films, LED bulbs and fixtures, voltage optimization. You can automate usage through something called a building management system or a BMS. There's roof insulation both for the interior and exterior. And then you always have your solar panels you can add. Each of these is chipping away at that expense line, limiting your exposure to rising energy costs and positioning the building in a way that it remains competitive as tenant expectations change. That all said, there's a challenge here. Remember that 62% of real estate in the US was built before 1990. Every single one of those assets needs these upgrades, but not all of them will be functionally or economically feasible. So this is where an objective and comprehensive assessment on every asset becomes a critical first step in the process. Now, let's take it one step further and talk about innovation. This is the fun stuff. Bitcoin mining is a proof of work system. It converts electricity into monetary value and produces heat as a byproduct. Forward-looking owners are already experimenting with ways to integrate mining into building operations. So I want you to imagine this just for a second. You have excess energy outside of peak hours. So instead of wasting it, you can run miners. The waste heat from those miners can then be captured and used to heat the building. If you have a hotel or an apartment property, you have pools, you have jacuzzis, maybe there's a spa, and every single room has a need for hot water. So this becomes a really meaningful component very, very quickly. The mining itself, it generates a Bitcoin income, which effectively subsidizes the utilities. And any Bitcoin income left over can then be allocated to help building your treasury. In colder climates, warehouses and data centers are already doing this. Over time, Bitcoin mining is going to become a standard in mechanical equipment, just like HVAC systems are today. They're going to double as a heat generator that also produces an income. If you zoom out even further, and here's where I'm going to blow your mind, if you zoom out further, you can combine solar panels, batteries, and Bitcoin miners to create your own little microgrid. So when you have excess solar power, you can put it to work mining instead of wasting it. During peak demand, you can shut those miners off and stabilize the load. The end result here is lower costs, greater resilience, and a new revenue stream. I find this absolutely fascinating, and I'm excited to see where it goes because you have these formerly separate specialties all colliding. And when you apply it to the real estate asset, it creates this flywheel effect that turns this single purpose monolithic building into this resilient and diversified financial machine for the 21st century. So, real quick, let's summarize this broader playbook real quick. You have treasury management as your capital strategy. You have dual collateralized loans as your financing mechanism. And now you have your energy efficiency as your operational defense. This combination is going to be what separates tomorrow's winners from everyone else. Rising costs, aging inventory, and the capital scarcity in the years to come are going to expose every single weakness in this market. So, energy is no longer this side project. It is now a core pillar of a comprehensive strategy. The efficient buildings lower costs, lease faster, and retain value longer. When you add Bitcoin into this mix, you turn an expense item into an income stream. That is not incremental, that is transformational. As always, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comment section below or DM me. I'm also asking you to share this. Please share this with your clients, share it with your team, share it with your community. I need your help spreading the word. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you here next time.